Well, fans, welcome back to the second half of tonight's RWL Rage in Dallas, Texas. Don Hickson, Christy Ogilvie, and Myron Schimmelman here. The next hour, 4 more exciting matchups, and they are going to be exceptional.
By the way, before we continue, now, I'd like you fans to know, we're still a small channel, probably always will be, but we wanted to thank all of you. We have now gone up to 713 subscribers with over 6,000 videos available. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
And we'll continue bringing y'all quality entertainment without the exorbitant ticket prices. Just saying, we do it for free. You can't get any cheaper than absolutely free now.
That's an excellent point, Christy. I've seen some of those ticket prices. They're absolutely filthy.
That is an excellent point, you two. Ladies and gentlemen, your ringside seat here at RWL is always absolutely gratis, FOC free of charge.
Okay, coming up, Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the Originals, will be in action. And so will Women's World Champion Dynamite Jeannie Parker. And in the main event, the Light Heavyweight Championship will be defended by Sir Reggie Smythe against Bret the Hitman Hart.
All right, well, let's start the second half with something really good. Up next, it's going to be Mad Dog Mark McKay set to face Brenton Quinn BQ Stewart with Miss Morse X and Sister Golden Hair both at ringside.
Welcome back. The next match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, along with Miss Morse X, from Ithaca, New York, weighing 205 pounds, Mad Dog Mark McKay.
Now, like he said in his last promo, Mad Dog Mark McKay has not forgotten about Eddie Guerrero. He and Latino Heat will be locking up at Black Friday. And so this is a tune-up match between McKay and BQ Stewart. But I got to admit, I think BQ Stewart's got a definite edge. 6'6", 270 pounds against Mad Dog Mark McKay and his 205 pounds. Even with Miss Morse X at ringside, that's going to be a problem.
But at least you have to respect McKay's bravado, which is not false bravado. This man means business every time he steps into that squared circle.
He's definitely not afraid of BQ Stewart, that's for sure.
And his opponent, along with Sister Golden Hair, from Northridge, California, weighing 270 pounds, BQ Stewart.
Brenton Quinn Stewart has been on the roster for almost a decade now, winning his very first match against Kerry Von Erich at Cow Palace Cup in 2016. And while he's never made any major moves, he's getting a lot more attention since signing with MJ Ferrantino and having Sister Golden Hair by his side since this summer. The Northridge Quake, as he's known, is a no-nonsense, no-frills kind of guy. Straight power moves, and he's a more than capable brawler. Should make for a heated match with McKay.
Oh, their tempers are definitely going to flare in this one.
You look at them both right out of the gate and say it's a mismatch? I don't necessarily think that's entirely true.
Nonetheless, Myron, there is a pretty fair size differential between these two individuals, and the advantage definitely leans towards Mr. Stewart here. While Mark McKay is preparing for his matchup with Eddie Guerrero at Black Friday, I'm not exactly sure this is the most intelligent way to go about it. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell, they come centering. Mad Dog Mark McKay opening up with a series of shots and backing up Brenton Quinn Stewart. Whoa, look at this, a DDT taking Stewart down to the canvas. McKay drives a knee into his head. Mad Dog Mark McKay starting off quite strong in the opening goings here. Gets a hold of Stewart, whips him to the far left corner, misses the charge. McKay getting out of the way just in time. There's a kick, there's a right, there's a left, and a hard shot backs up McKay. Stewart whips him right into referee Walt Rothburn. No permanent damage done. McKay whipped over the top rope, out onto the apron by Stewart. A hard right hand. Stewart hung up on the ropes by McKay. Mad Dog Mark McKay moves in, misses the jab, catches a series of shots from Brenton Quinn Stewart. Stewart gets a hold of McKay, smashes his head into the far right turnbuckle, and decides he's going to try and take the arm home. Look at this. Mad Dog Mark McKay in the corner. Stewart drapes the leg over the middle rope and nails him with a kick to the calf. McKay countering with a couple of shots, escaping the grapple of Brenton Quinn Stewart, and a neckbreaker. Whoa, did you see Stewart fly? Miss Morse X, as usual, standing at her corner impassively as McKay makes his way to the top turnbuckle. Here comes the double axe handle, and whoa, look at this. Mad Dog Mark McKay covers one. But Stewart powering out quite easily. Running dropkick from McKay to Stewart. A stomp to the leg. And a blatant choke from Mad Dog Mark McKay, who we know doesn't play games. Stewart in the corner. McKay charges and whoa, drives a knee right into the head of Brenton Quinn Stewart. And he is urging Stewart to get up so he can knock him right back down. But Brenton Quinn Stewart, whoa, a vicious toss from Stewart. Stewart slams the head of McKay to the canvas as Sister Golden Hair looks on. There's a clothesline from Stewart. A swing and a miss from McKay. A rebound off the ropes. A back body drop to Mad Dog Mark McKay. BQ Stewart with a spine buster on Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay gathered up again. Stewart gets him up over the shoulder, hangs him up off the top rope. Oh, a driving knee right to the head of McKay, followed up with a stomp right to the face. Brenton Quinn Stewart, the North Ridge Quake, starting to open up here, driving a series of knees into the head of Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay rolls towards the corner, a chop right across the face by Brenton Quinn Stewart. McKay countering with a series of shots. Stewart counters with a right, a left. Whip to the ropes is McKay. A duck under from Stewart. A leapfrog from Stewart and goes behind. Tries for the German suplex, but winds up getting caught in a roll-up pin. 1, 2, well now, just a 1. Stewart quickly back up a clothesline, takes McKay down to the mat. Brenton Quinn Stewart misses the chop and gets a clothesline from McKay. An elbow right to the top of the skull to BQ Stewart. A clothesline from McKay. A second and a third. Mad Dog Mark McKay turning it on here. Ooh, what a shot. Brenton Quinn Stewart taken down to the canvas. And Mad Dog Mark McKay surprising me here. What a performance from the Mad Dog. McKay sets up the leg snap and whoa. Brenton Quinn Stewart finding himself in some trouble here as McKay starts to open up again, turning the momentum his way. McKay up on the top turnbuckle here. Here he comes, big time flying crossbody as Brenton Quinn Stewart rolls out to the floor. Mad Dog Mark McKay firmly in control. Sister Golden Hair complaining, but whoa, over the top rope crossbody to Brenton Quinn Stewart. As Sister Golden Hair's protestations are ignored by Mad Dog Mark McKay, the referee already initiating the count. As Stewart sets up a chicken wing suplex, nearly driving McKay right into the ring steps. McKay gets a hold of Stewart, pitches him towards the timekeeper's area. And again, the momentum has shifted in this match. Mad Dog Mark McKay genuinely surprising me. He seems primed for that matchup with Eddie Guerrero at Black Friday as BQ Stewart makes his way back inside the ring. McKay goes behind on him, has both arms, stretching him, and a headbutt right between the shoulder blades, followed up with an overhand right. BQ Stewart locks up McKay, gets a hold on him, escorts him towards the far left corner, head first into the turnbuckle goes McKay. As Stewart smashes his head into the buckle a second time. And a third. Mad Dog Mark McKay starting to lose control of things here. He's rebounded off the turnbuckle into a German suplex by BQ Stewart. A stomp to the back of Mad Dog Mark McKay. BQ Stewart making his way to the top turnbuckle here. McKay's laid out, big time crossbody right off the top rope. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2, 3, and an explosive and fast matchup. Brenton Quinn Stewart picks up the win.
Here's the time, 6 minutes and 2 seconds, and your winner, BQ Stewart.
And while Brenton Quinn Stewart does get the Duke in this matchup over Mad Dog Mark McKay, it must be noted McKay was extremely aggressive all the way through from start to finish, garnering the advantage over Brenton Quinn Stewart more than once. And I think that says he and Eddie Guerrero are going to have a very explosive match at Black Friday. Nonetheless, kudos to Brenton Quinn Stewart on an impressive win over Mad Dog Mark McKay, and you see it right here in the replay. McKay laid out, and there's that beautiful crossbody well executed by Brenton Quinn Stewart for the 3-count pinfall. And we'll be right back with the undisputed World Tag Team Champions John Van and Guy Cormier, the originals, next. As we continue a significant non-title tag team matchup, setting the pair of Terry Funk and Cactus Jack against the undisputed World Tag Team Champions John Van and Guy Cormier, the originals.
This next non-title tag match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. First, from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, weighing 287 pounds, Cactus Jack.
Well, it is well known to every RWL fan, the originals, John Van and Guy Cormier, the undisputed World Tag Team Champions, have been on top by beating just about every team they have ever faced, and they are ever in search of a new and exciting challenge. And if this doesn't fit the bill, I don't know what will. Terry Funk and Cactus Jack, who have wrestled as partners, as rivals, in the wildest death matches in all of wrestling history. And what a challenge this is going to be for the originals, facing Terry Funk and Cactus Jack.
My jaw nearly hit the floor when Sylvia came up with this idea.
And his partner from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, weighing 240 pounds, he's the Dallas-Fort Worth Wrestling State Champion, the hardcore legend, Terry Funk.
Woo, baby! Woo, baby, you guys! Even without hardcore rules and hardcore tools, the Funker and Cactus Jack, that's a tough team to try and beat. Sylvia's confidence in John and Guy is limitless, but even she's gonna have to face that this one won't be easy on the originals. On the other side of the coin, though, John and Guy have stayed at the top by not even concerning themselves with who their opponents will be on any given night. If they could whip on Zeus and the Great Khali, they're probably not worried about Cactus and Terry. Just aware that they'll have to stay focused in there against these two.
They will absolutely have to remain 100% focused against these exceptionally tough opponents.
And that tune means it's party time, because here comes the undisputed World Tag Team Champions.
Their opponents, along with Sylvia Strong, at a combined weight of 510 pounds, the Chicago Hammer John Van, and the Staten Island Crippler Guy Cormier, the RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the originals.
The winningest tag team in all of RWL history, the undisputed World Tag Team Champions John Van and Guy Cormier, have dominated in RWL since their debut way back in 2012, and they are still in there punching, and still the undisputed World Tag Team Champions. And it's not their first tag team title either. They have held tag team gold more than half a dozen times.
With this run, with the undisputed world titles running for years, only Jeannie Parker's got a longer record.
The Originals have never shied away from a fight, never shied away from new challengers, and these are as new as they come. John Van and Cactus Jack initiating contact in this matchup as referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. Cactus Jack opens up a delivered kick to the midsection by the Chicago Hammer. John Van, Cactus Jack whipped to the far right corner. There's a shoulder right to the chest of Cactus Jack. John Van assisting Jack out of the corner with an alley-oop. And, oh, look at this, quickly making his way to the top turnbuckle, wasting absolutely no time whatsoever. An elbow right across the chest and an immediate cover. 1, 2, and there goes the referee. Oh my. Well, this is going to be problematic. The Chicago Hammer, ignoring the situation, resuming his work on Cactus Jack, sends a referee. The Chicago Hammer locks it up with Cactus Jack, whips him to the Originals corner. The referee beginning to stir here as John Van slams the head of Cactus Jack into the turnbuckle. Cactus Jack counters with an elbow, locks it up with John Van, biting the face of the Chicago Hammer. He goes behind on John Van. There's a headlock punch, and down goes John Van center ring. Cactus Jack with a stomp, driving the knee into the canvas and hard overhand right. And a headbutt, taking John Van back down. And look out, because here comes the Funker. Terry Funk moving in on a motionless John Van with a blatant choke. Terry Funk charges. Running DDT, dropping John Van on the top of his head. Oh, the Texas crowd going crazy, but here comes Guy Cormier. There's a forearm taking Terry Funk down to the canvas. A clubbing overhand right from the Staten Island Cripple, followed by another one. Guy Cormier slams Terry Funk headfirst into the turnbuckle. Funk counters, gets a hold of Guy Cormier. A headlock punch. Goes behind on Cormier, delivers a shot to the back, whips him to the ropes, makes the duck under, and delivers an elbow right to the face of Guy Cormier, followed up with a driving knee right to the head. Terry Funk making his way to the top turnbuckle here, and here he comes, big time crossbody. We've seen a lot of that one tonight. Here's a pin, 1, 2, a near fall this early on. This is going to be an intense tag team matchup. Cormier tags in John Van as Terry Funk showboats to the crowd and catches a forearm for it. John Van gets a hold of him, clubbing overhand right to the Funker. A second one. He locks it up with the Funker. Kick to the midsection, tries for the DDT, but is quickly countered in a clothesline from Terry Funk. The Funker drives a knee into the arm of the Chicago Hammer. John Van quickly back up, catches another clothesline from Terry Funk. A flying shoulder takes Funk down. John Van gathers Terry Funk back up, whips him into the Originals corner. The Chicago Hammer, countered by the Funker, who escapes the Originals corner, gets a hold on John Van, has him up for a long vertical suplex, dropping him towards center. As Terry Funk tags in Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack catches a flying shoulder from John Van. Van locks up Cactus, whips him to his team's corner. The Chicago Hammer going to work on the arm against the rope. John Van tags in Guy Cormier, Sylvia Strong, cheering the boys on as Cactus is whipped to the ropes, and a double back body drop as Guy Cormier takes over for the Originals, catches a kick to the head from Cactus Jack. Cactus with a clubbing overhand right to Guy Cormier. A headbutt takes Cormier down. Cactus Jack going for a quick pin. 1, not even a 1. Cormier quickly powering out of the pin. They lock up again. Cormier with a neckbreaker drop on Cactus Jack. And here comes Terry Funk again. Cormier with a hard right hand drops him down. Both members of this team are laid out. The Originals in control of things at the present time. Whoa. The spinning punch turns into a hip toss. Excellent counter from Terry Funk. A rolling elbow to the back of Guy Cormier. Cormier quickly back up. And it's quickly taken right back down again by Terry Funk. The Funker turns Cormier over, turns him back over again. Delivers an elbow to the leg of Guy Cormier. Terry Funk snaps the leg, not once but twice. And now raining hard right hands on the head of Guy Cormier. Terry Funk with a spiteful stomp to the face of Cormier. Guy counters with a shot to the midsection. Locks it up with the Funker. Kick to the midsection and a DDT. Face first into the canvas goes Terry Funk. Guy Cormier locks it up with the Funker. Whips him to the Originals corner. Moves in. A kick to the midsection from Cormier. He gets a hold of the Funker above the ankles and an alley-oop assist out of the corner. Guy Cormier already busted open and bleeding at the hands of Terry Funk. The Funker laid out center ring and struggling to get to a standing position. He is not going very well at all as Guy Cormier continues to rally the crowd here in Dallas. Clubbing overhand right from Cormier. Rounds him up by the wrist and a jumping knee takes him down. Cormier covers, hooks the leg. One. But just a one, says referee Walt Rothburn. Cormier locks it up with the Funker. Back into the Originals corner he goes, but he counters and escapes again. Gets a hold of Cormier. Sets him up for a knee breaker. Oh, that's a painful move. Cormier rolls out to the outside quickly. Terry Funk misses with the right. Cormier locked up by the Funker. A headlock punch. Funker goes behind again and delivers a headbutt right between the shoulder blades of Guy Cormier. Follows it up with another one. And Guy Cormier is laid out center ring as Terry Funk goes for the pin. One. Again, just a one. This matchup is going to be something crazy. Oh, shoulder tackle from Terry Funk. A kick to the head from Cormier. A hard right, a second, and a kick to the midsection to Terry Funk. Puts him in the far right corner. Guy Cormier drapes the leg over the middle rope, delivers a kick to the calf of Terry Funk. Cormier has him up for a spinebuster, and down he goes. Cormier turning it over to the Chicago Hammer, John Van Sylvia Strong. Watching the boys work. Her top money spinners, the undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the Originals, with the advantage at the present time in this matchup between Terry Funk and Cactus Jack. An abdominal stretch from the Chicago Hammer. Won't get a submission, but he is certainly trying to wear down Terry Funk. Terry Funk counters it into a hip toss. The Funker catches a kick to the head from John Van. Van gathers up the Funker again. Right back into the corner he goes as John Van sets up a little project here. Oh, head first, practically the shelf of the jaw into the turnbuckle. And the Chicago Hammer quickly countered into a back body drop by Terry Funk. And again, another quick pin here. One, two. And yet another near fall. What a matchup we've got going here. The Originals definitely being tested. John Van catches an elbow from Terry Funk as he makes his way to the corner, tags in Cactus Jack. John Van with a shoulder tackle to Cactus. A rebound off the ropes, misses with the leg drop. Cactus Jack just a step too fast. A drop kick takes Van down to the canvas. The Chicago Hammer slammed face first into the mat by Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack repeating the move. Now John Van apparently opened up and bleeding. Oh, a quick headbutt from Cactus. Cactus Jack with a fist drop to John Van. A driving knee right across the chest. Cactus Jack turns it over to Terry Funk. John Van making his way to a standing position in the corner. And Terry Funk charges and catches a pair of boots to the face from John Van. Terry Funk locks it up with John Van. Has him by the singlet. Gauging the weight here. Vertical suplex from Terry Funk. The Funker with a kick to the face of John Van. Falling neckbreaker. Oh, excuse me, that was a stunner. Terry Funk drops the leg across the arm of the Chicago Hammer, John Van. A stomp to the back as Terry Funk delivers his parting shot and turns it over to Cactus Jack. The Chicago Hammer with a clothesline to Cactus. Takes a rebound off the rope. Nails the leg drop that time. John Van gathers up Cactus Jack. Cactus counters the whip. Drives a knee into the chest of the Chicago Hammer, followed up with a stomp to the chest. A second. Cactus Jack setting it up here. He charges and another driving knee right to the head of the Chicago Hammer. Tries to go after Guy Cormier and catches the right. Turns his attention back to John Van. Van, quick with the counter, slams Cactus Jack down to the mat. A stomp to the arm of Cactus Jack. The Chicago Hammer, John Van, dragging a motionless Cactus Jack towards center ring. Delivers a kick to the ribs. Turns Cactus over. Drops an elbow on the leg of Cactus Jack. Makes his way to his corner and tags in the Staten Island crippler Guy Cormier. The Originals firmly in control of the situation at the present time. And here we go. There's the brain claw. How many matches have the Originals won with this move? Cactus Jack fighting, slowly fighting his way to a standing position. Delivers a couple of shots to the midsection of Cormier. Cactus charges running DDT. With the Staten Island crippler Cactus Jack makes his way to his corner, tags in Terry Funk, the Funker. Back in the ring and kick to the midsection of Guy Cormier, sets up the neck breaker and nails it. Cactus Jack watching as Terry Funk goes to work on Guy Cormier. Cormier counters with a shot to the face. Gets a hold of Terry Funk, whips him to the ropes. Beautifully executed power slam. Cormier goes for the pin. 1, 2, and yet another near fall. What an intense battle we've got here. Clubbing overhand right. Cormier turns his attention to Cactus Jack, goes right back to Terry Funk, a kick to the midsection, and a spinning pile driver. This could be bad news for the Funker here. Here's a cover, and he is bleeding badly. Guy Cormier seriously busted open by these two hardcore legends. Terry Funk on the outside. Cormier goes to work on Cactus Jack, takes himself out to the apron, and slams him into the lip of it. John Van countered and rolled back inside the ring by Terry Funk. Cormier making a beeline back inside the ring, gets a hold of Terry Funk. A shoulder tackle takes the Funker down to the canvas. A stomp right to the face as John Van resumes his tag corner. Leg scissor stomp to Terry Funk. Cormier makes his way to the top turnbuckle here. Here he comes, big time elbow right across the chest of Terry Funk. Cormier gathers up the Funker. Once again back into the original. A cheap shot from John Van drops him center ring. Well, he certainly got out of the corner, even if it wasn't the way he planned it. But right back in he goes again. Here comes a double team as John Van is tagged in. Terry Funk whipped to the ropes. Double flapjack face first into the mat. The Chicago Hammer takes Cactus Jack out of the equation, takes himself to the outside. Both members of the team laid out on their side of the ring. John Van with a right, a left, a kick, and a clubbing overhand left to Terry Funk. Slam head first into the floor. Cactus Jack is laid out. Going to be, what a headbutt to Terry Funk from John Van. Both Originals battered and bleeding as expected in a battle with two hardcore legends. John Van back inside the ring. Gathers up Terry Funk. Hard whipped into the Originals corner. Here he comes. Whoa! What a spinning splash. That was beautiful. John Van covers. 1, 2, 3. Well, now the Originals defeating Cactus Jack and Terry Funk by pinfall.
Here's the time. Exactly 14 minutes. And your winners, the Originals.
Battered, bruised, and beaten up, as you would expect any opponents of Terry Funk and Cactus Jack to be, but nonetheless, John Van and Guy Cormier picking up the win in this matchup. Look at this beautiful spinning splash from John Van, and we'll be right back with more RWL Rage right after this.
Next, non-title ladies action as Women's World Champion Dynamite Jeannie Parker locks up against the one woman who wrestled her to a draw, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka.
This next non-title ladies match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, from Japan, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka.
Now, even Jeannie Parker herself will tell you, all that talk about how Jeannie Parker never loses is a myth. She's very public about both her one non-title loss to Stacy Keibler and the fact that Asuka wrestled her to a 15-minute time limit draw, which is what brings Jeannie and Asuka back together tonight. Both ladies want to see which of them can possibly pick up the W on the other this time around.
That was a wild match too. Halloween Brawl 2023, and they wrestled in the ring, outside the ring, and wound up in a 15-minute time limit draw. And now, tonight, we're going to find out, maybe, unless we get another time limit draw, we'll see which one of these ladies comes up with the win.
One thing is certain, both of these ladies, consistent winners in their fields of expertise. Asuka known the world over, both in the United States and Japan. And of course, Dynamite Jeannie Parker, the 7-year-long reigning Women's World Champion here in RWL.
And her opponent, from Richmond, Virginia, she's an RWL double champion, and the reigning Women's World Champion, the Queen, Dynamite. Jeannie Parker.
So yeah, Jeannie Parker, hot off her 88th title defense, absolutely unprecedented. And tonight, well, now that she's got the title defense out of the way, and she'll be defending the ladies tag trio titles, along with Jet Williams and Mimi Emerson at Black Friday, well, she's got an opportunity to do this non-title match with Asuka, and both these ladies definitely want to see which one of them is going to prevail.
And given that time limit draw at Halloween Brawl 23, even the best armchair experts are torn as to which one of them is going to wind up getting the W in this matchup. Jeannie Parker's consistent winning record doesn't mean much when you put it up against Asuka, who's also got an equally impressive track record. Well, given their previous draw, this match is basically anybody's to win, and it'll come down to which one makes a mistake. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. The ladies come center ring. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Asuka whips Jeannie Parker into the referee again. He's having a very unlucky night as Asuka drags Parker towards the ropes. Takes her down to the mat. A stomp right to the midsection of Jeannie Parker. Asuka gathers her up again. Jeannie counters with a kick to the midsection. Drops up. Asuka has her up in a front cradle. Walks her towards that. Oh man! Into the turnbuckle and spun out towards center ring. Jeannie Dynamite with a stomp to the arm of Asuka. Rounded up by the wrist. Goes behind. High rising knee and a quick cover. Whoa. And just along Asuka using her whole body to get out of that one. Jeannie Parker locks it up with us. Ooh, inverted atomic drop and a splash. Not just one, but two. Nice parlay of moves by Jeannie Dynamite. A knee right to the head of Asuka takes her down to the mat. Parker with a left jab goes behind on Asuka. A shot to the back. Hard whip to the ropes. A duck under. Jeannie gets a hold of her, has her up. Asuka quick with the counter, delivers the shot to the back, goes behind on Parker. Taking her towards the ropes. And Asuka yanking the arm against the ropes. Jeannie locked up by Asuka again. Another hard whip to the rope and a wicked kick right to the face. And a little bit of taunting from the Empress of Tomorrow. who takes herself to the top floor right turnbuckle as Jeannie Parker makes her way to a standing position. Another beautiful dropkick off the top. A double axe handle to Parker. Whoa, she certainly felt that one. Asuka rounded up by Jeannie Parker, belly to back suplex. Jeannie Dynamite goes behind, German release suplex to Asuka, and she caught all of it. There's an elbow drop right to the chest of the Empress of Tomorrow. Jeannie Dynamite rebounds off the rope, another splash to Asuka. Asuka makes her way to the corner. Jeannie Dynamite charges, but is quickly countered by Asuka, who escapes the corner. Gets a hold of her. An octopus stretch in the center of the ring. No ropes for Parker to get to. She's got to get out herself, and she does, converting it into a sidewalk slam. A stomp to the back of Asuka. Parker rebounds off the ropes. Another splash across the midsection to Asuka. Asuka again going right back in for the octopus stretch a second time. But Parker has her up, another sidewalk slam. These two, they must have some hellified memory of their match at Halloween Brawl, because they are matching each other move for move. There's a clothesline from Jeannie Parker. Another rebound off the rope and another splash. And those will wear you out over the course of time. Dynamite Jeannie Parker laying in a heel hook stretch on Asuka. Asuka starting to lose control of things here. She had the advantage in the early goings. Parker laying in the heel hook stretch a second time. Both ladies very consistent with their moves. Asuka turned over by Parker as she slams the knee of Asuka into the mat. Asuka gathered up again, a clothesline from Parker. A swing and a miss from Asuka, a rebound off the ropes and a back body drop. Jeannie Parker moves in on her, and there's a spine buster. Taking Asuka down, Parker covers again. 1, 2, but another near fall. Asuka finding her way out of the pin yet again. Look at this. Deadlift slam. And Jeannie Dynamite displaying some power here. The fans here in Dallas intrigued by this matchup. Parker rounds Asuka up center ring, a bear hug. Trying to squeeze a submission out of the Empress of Tomorrow, but no dice. Asuka already trying to battle her way out, and she certainly does. Asuka countered by Parker with a forearm. Whip to the ropes. An elbow from Jeannie takes her down to the mat center ring. Asuka using the ropes to get to a standing position. Parker with a clothesline over the top rope and out onto the floor. Jeannie Parker going right out after her. An elbow to the chest on the outside as referee Rwl Rage initiates the count, and Jeannie Parker doing quite a little bit of showing off here for the fans in Dallas. Arm bar stretch to Asuka on the outside. Asuka gathered up again by Parker. Up over the shoulders in a fireman's carry and slammed head first into the lip of the apron. It's almost a carbon copy of their match at Halloween Brawl. The battling on the inside and outside of the ring. Look at this inverted dominator slamming Asuka face first into the floor. Jeannie Parker perhaps sensing the end could be near. A kick to the midsection. She gets a hold of, oh, look at this. Has her up for the powerbomb. Oh, right there on the floor. And oh, Asuka certainly caught all of it. Parker counter and rolled back inside the ring by the Empress of Tomorrow. Makes her way back inside, gets a hold of Parker. Sets her up against the ropes. A top rope choke from Asuka, who, as I've said, is no nonsense. Asuka whips Parker to the far right corner. Whoa, what a drop kick. Jeannie Parker. Uh-oh, here we go. These two ladies are going to start trading shots back and forth. Oh, this is going to be into Parker trying to unload quicker than Asuka. But Asuka not giving up. She has battled some of the toughest in both the U.S. and Japan. Oh, what a shot. Jeannie Parker dropped like a stone, but too close to the ropes for a pin, says referee Walt Rothburn. Asuka has to start again. Oh, a grind of the boots to the face of Jeannie Parker. The women's world champion at a disadvantage here, a forearm. Takes Parker down near the corner. He rolls to the outside. Asuka takes herself to the top turnbuckle. Oh, big time crossbody off the top rope. Another arm-bar stretch on the outside as the referee continues to count. Asuka gathers Parker up and hurls her, whoa, almost into our camera. And the battle continues on the outside. Whoa, an elbow to Parker from Asuka, a kick. Asuka with a stomp to the arm of the women's world champion, and she is provoked. Trash talking Jeannie Parker. Parker counters with both boots, gets herself back up to a standing position, gathers up the Empress of Tomorrow, and hurls her to the opposing side of the ring. Jeannie makes her own way back inside the ring as the referee continues to count Asuka, who is slowly getting to a standing position. Asuka makes her way back inside the ring. Oh, here we go. I've seen this before. This is the Asuka lock. And we could see a submission right here. The referee checking Parker. Asuka releases the hold. And whoa, Jeannie Parker absolutely motionless as Asuka makes her way to the top turnbuckle. Parker slowly beginning to score here, gets up to the standing position, and whoa, a crossbody takes Parker down. Parker quickly back up though. Asuka misses with that shot. And Jeannie Parker's about to make her pay with another pile driver. And Parker quickly going for a pin here. 1, 2, 3. That is it. Dynamite Jeannie Parker picking up the win over the Empress of Tomorrow by pinfall.
Here's the time, 9 minutes and 2 seconds, and your winner, Dynamite Jeannie Parker.
You gotta say, both these ladies, they fought their hearts out in this one. But Jeannie Parker winds up picking up the win over Asuka by pinfall.
In 9 minutes and 2 seconds, Myron, which tells me Asuka fought her heart out in this match, and she had Jeannie Parker at a disadvantage several times, but this pile driver right here put an end to the whole thing. When we return, Sir Reggie Smythe defending the light heavyweight championship against Bret Hart. And finally, in tonight's Rage main event, the RWL Light Heavyweight Championship on the line as the battling Briton Sir Reggie Smythe defends the title against the excellence of execution, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Well, here's a title match that the Hitman has been beating the drum for a while now. He's as qualified a contender as you could get for the light heavy title. But to hear you tell it, Myron, Sir Reggie has been taking his sweet old time signing for the match. I'm guessing that comes from his opinion on both the Hitman as one guy and the Hart Foundation as a collective, doesn't it?
Hole in one, Christy Bubby. He don't like the Hitman, he don't like the Anvil, and he definitely don't like the Bulldog. So yeah, he took his sweet time signing the deal, but eventually he had to accept we don't have many more competent contenders for the light heavyweight title, and Bret definitely fits the bill.
Reggie confided in me his problem with Bret the Hitman Hart is that he sees Bret as a chronic complainer. He has been griping and beefing and sniping and sniveling, according to Sir Reggie, since the Montreal screw job in 1997.
He's not wrong. Bret kvetches about the screw job, he kvetches about Goldberg, he kvetches about contemporary wrestling. Everything's a complaint. Now, you know, Bret, he's got his qualifications. He's got a great history behind him. One of the best technical wrestlers going. But at the same time, always putting everybody else down. And Sir Reggie don't appreciate that.
And despite Bret the Hitman Hart's many qualifications, Sir Reggie Smythe has stated he is going to make it his business to retain the light heavyweight title just to spite Bret the Hitman Hart.
You kinda can't deny, all the members of the Hart Foundation are opinionated. And while there's nothing wrong with being a little critical, they all tend to take that into disrespectful territory. And that's what burns Reggie up about them. Like Davy Boy calling him a sellout for making a few extra dollars, selling beef tallow crisps.
Tonight's Rage main event is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit, and it is for the RWL Light Heavyweight Championship. The challenger, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing 226 pounds, Bret the Hitman Hart. And his opponent, representing Team Euro, from London, England, weighing 217 pounds, the RWL Light Heavyweight Champion, Sir Reggie Smythe.
It isn't just Davy Boy Smith that Sir Reggie has hostility towards. Also Bret the Hitman Hart for his attitude, which I suppose is not entirely unjustified. Willie Johnson displaying the light heavyweight title for all to see here as our main event prepares to get underway. The official sounds the bell. Here we go, main event time. A set of shots from the Hitman. Sir Reggie rounded up for a one-arm suplex from the Hitman, followed up with a stomp, a driving knee to the head of Sir Reggie Smythe. Another knee to the head of Sir Reggie as the Hitman starts to pull away here in the early goings. Look at this, a modified abdominal stretch getting the leg involved, which doesn't always have Sir Reggie countering it into a hip toss. The battling Briton follows up with a stomp to the head of the Hitman. Bret counters with a hard left, a kick to the midsection, tries for the DDT, but Sir Reggie right on it with a set of shots to the midsection, escaping the hold. There's a snapmare and a knee to the head to Bret the Hitman Hart. Sir Reggie Smythe takes himself all the way topside, and a driving knee from the top turnbuckle. Sir Reggie Smythe, certainly not overly fond of any of the members of the Hart Foundation. Not Bret, not Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and certainly not the British Bulldog Davy Boy Smith. Sir Reggie working on the head and neck area of the Hitman. The Hitman rolls out to the floor, and so does Sir Reggie in hot pursuit here. Smythe rounds up Hart, has him up in a front cradle, and slams him right into the barricade. Down he goes. The Hitman counters with a kick to the midsection of Sir Reggie. Sets him up belly-to-belly suplex out there on the floor with Willie Johnson already counting. Again, the light heavyweight championship on the line in this main event. A Russian leg sweep into the barricade for Sir Reggie by the Hitman. Sir Reggie counters with an enziguri to Bret Hart. The Hitman counters with a left and a right, driving Sir Reggie back into the barricade yet again. And one more time, for memory's sake, I suppose. Bret the Hitman Hart makes his way back inside the ring. Sir Reggie clearing the cobwebs out and getting himself back inside the ring. A chop across the chest of the Hitman into a headlock and a headlock punch. He goes behind. There's a shot to the back. The Hitman whipped to the ropes. Avoids the grapple. There's a kick to the midsection and a DDT to Sir Reggie Smythe. A kick to the chest in the far right corner. Bret putting his knee to the chest of Sir Reggie. Sir Reggie counters with a kick to the head. Bret counters with another kick. These two, they are absolutely driven here. Bret whipped to the rope corner, but counters yet again. Has him up for an inverted Russian leg sweep, but again, Sir Reggie second guesses him. There's a snapmare and another knee to the head of the Hitman. And quickly, Sir Reggie making his way to the top turnbuckle here. Bret the Hitman Hart slowly making his way to a standing position. And here he comes, double axe handle right across the head of Bret the Hitman Hart. Here's a cover. Won't. But no. Just about a one. With Bret the Hitman Hart powering out, counters with an elbow and a flying crossbody. Taking Sir Reggie Smythe down to the mat, slams his head down to the canvas yet again. A clubbing overhand right from the Hitman. Bret Hart countered by Sir Reggie. Both these men definitely second guessing each other quite awful. Oh, gut wrench suplex. The Hitman rolls to the outside. Here comes Sir Reggie. Oh! Takes him down from behind with a neckbreaker. A stomp to the head. Oh, a double boot scrape to the sides of the face of the Hitman. Sir Reggie Smythe drives a knee into the head of Bret the Hitman Hart. Drives another into the back. A left, another left. Sir Reggie, a masterful striker with boxing history in his past. Bret rolled inside the ring. Sir Reggie takes himself to the top turnbuckle, and here he goes, elbow drop right across the small of the back of Bret the Hitman Hart. Center ring, covers, hooks the leg, 1, 2. But nope. Bret the Hitman Hart powering out again, much to the frustration of Sir Reggie Smythe, and he's going to go for it again. Oh, misses that one as Bret the Hitman Hart slides out of the way. Fireman's carry from the Hitman. The excellence of execution certainly giving Sir Reggie a run for his money in this title main event matchup. Sir Reggie counters with a shot to the midsection. Spins him around with a hard right. Goes behind, but again the Hitman countering. Bret Hart delivers a belly-to-belly suplex just about center ring. Drops the leg across the throat of Sir Reggie Smythe, and that was a hard one. Smythe rolls to the outside floor. He certainly caught all of that leg drop. Bret the Hitman Hart goes through the ropes and crashes and burns face first into the floor. Sir Reggie Smythe just a step too fast. Smythe with a spinning neckbreaker to the Hitman on the outside one more time with Willie Johnson counting. A stomp to the head. Sir Reggie rolls the Hitman back inside the ring. The Hitman takes him down, and he's going to do it. He's going to set it up for the sharpshooter. Could be a possible submission right here. Willie Johnson checking on Sir Reggie Smythe. The Hitman locked in the sharpshooter. And this, oh, look at this. Sir Reggie Smythe quickly finding his way out of danger and breaking the hold. There's a hard right from Sir Reggie. Gets a hold of him. Oh, what a spine buster. And here's a pin. 1, 2. But again, Bret the Hitman Hart foiling the plans of Sir Reggie Smythe. Oh, he is becoming frustrated, all right. A blatant choke from Sir Reggie Smythe, which does not happen. Oh, well, I stand corrected. It's happening quite often here. The Hitman in the corner, and again, Sir Reggie Smythe going for the throat, literally. Smythe backs off at the admonishments of the referee. Snaps the arm on Bret the Hitman Hart. Follows it up with a stomp. Still battling Britain. Locked up by the Hitman. Whipped to the ropes. A collision center ring. Sir Reggie grapples the Hitman. Whips him to the ropes. Misses with the driving knee. Bret the Hitman Hart avoiding the move there. And again right back into that modified abdominal stretch. And that is a torturous submission. The referee keeping an eye on Sir Reggie, but Reggie counters it, turns it into a hip toss. Bret the Hitman Hart back to a standing position. Sir Reggie Smythe drives a knee right into the head of the Hitman. And right back into the choke yet again. As I stated before, Sir Reggie Smythe with absolutely no love for the Hart Foundation whatsoever. Neither he nor his Team Euro compatriots. Whoa! And whoa. Bret the Hitman Hart caught that one. There's a stomp to the face. And Sir Reggie Smythe drives a knee into the back of the head of the Hitman. And right back to the throat of Bret the Hitman Hart. Another driving knee to the head. Sir Reggie Smythe starting to pull away here. The momentum is all his as Bret the Hitman Hart makes his way to the apron on the outside. A hard right, but a counter from Bret the Hitman Hart over the top rope. Beautifully executed crossbody by the Hitman. The excellence of execution trying to turn things around here again. The light heavyweight championship at stake here. A driving knee to the head of Sir Reggie Smythe from the Hitman, and he is laid out face down on the canvas. There's a stomp to the back from Bret the Hitman Hart, who snaps the leg on Sir Reggie Smythe. Now into an armbar stretch. He's got to be frustrated that that sharpshooter did not end this match. Sir Reggie Smythe whipped to the ropes. A driving kitchen sink knee into the midsection center ring. Here's a cover 1, 2. And Sir Reggie Smythe powering out. Look at this, Bret the Hitman Hart absolutely can't believe it. The Hitman with a chop across the chest, a second. Goes behind on Sir Reggie, German suplex. And these two men have been taking each other to the limit over the top rope crossbody from Bret the Hitman Hart. Both these men battered and bleeding. At this point in the matchup, another vicious leg drop across the throat of Sir Reggie Smythe. The Hitman pitches Sir Reggie right into the barricades, going up towards the ramp. Misses with the leg drop that time. Sir Reggie with a double drop kick. A chop. Sir Reggie countered by the Hitman. Rolled back inside the ring as Bret the Hitman Hart makes his way back inside. Gets a hold on Smythe. Spinning neckbreaker to the battling Briton. Reggie back to a standing position, delivers a kick to the midsection of the Hitman. Quickly countered again. Dodges the move and drives a knee into the head of Bret the Hitman Hart. Sir Reggie Smythe all the way to the top far right turnbuckle as he waits for Bret the Hitman Hart to get himself in position. And another elbow right to the top of the dome. And Bret the Hitman Hart is starting to look like he's having problems. Whoa! A headbutt off the top turnbuckle from Sir Reggie Smythe. Sir Reggie rounds him up. There's that double-handed spine buster. One more time, another cover. 1, 2, 3. That is going to do it. Sir Reggie Smythe retaining the light heavyweight title in this matchup. Let's get the official time from Aria Mitchell.
Here's the time, 11 minutes and 53 seconds. Your winner and still light heavyweight champion, Sir Reggie Smythe.
Not a bad night at all for Team Euro. Ari Alexandros picks up a win over the British Bulldog, and Sir Reggie retains the light heavyweight title over Bret the Hitman Hart, something he was definitely hoping to do, and he sure did it. Right there with that spine buster, got himself the 3 count, retains the belt.
Well, as for us, that's going to do it for tonight's edition of RWL Rage. As always, fans, we thank you for joining us, and we hope you'll be joining us on Friday, November the 28th, for the Black Friday Supercard. For all of us here at RWL, from our family to yours, we hope you have a terrific Thanksgiving, and we'll see you at the next edition of RWL Rage. For all of us here, Don Hickson saying thanks, good night, and we'll see you next time.